Welcome to the Movie Talk Show with Dave DC Callari from DC Unboxed and from the Screenwriter's Room, the screenwriter himself, Rob Alvarenga. Now, here is your host, Joe Zapata.
It's by the Power of GraySkull. We got movie talk this week. I'm Joe Zapata. We got a lot of things to deep dive into. Let's introduce the team. We got Rob Alvarenga. What's up, Robbie? How you doing, my man?
What's going on, fellas?
What is going on, man? And of course, Dave, DC Callari. What's up, Dave?
By the power of numbskulls.
So, Dave, let's get started with you, actually. Ghostbusters Day was in New York City. Obviously, you're our Ghostbusters guy. You were there. There it is, one of the wand itself. I got some pictures I'm going to pull up here. How was Ghostbusters Day? And, talk about it. What was going on?
So it was my first one, and I enjoyed it. I did hear a couple people. So Sony was there as Adam Murray. He was the Stay Puft truck driver at the end of Frozen Empire. He liked my Tony Stark glasses too, so I was like, yeah. I thought it was great. There were some people, like I said, because Sony was there doing some announcements. They had literally the whole block in front of the firehouse cordoned off, and I feel like that was fine because traffic could go and people could still congregate. But some people were like, "Oh, it feels more corporate than community right here."
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I mean, like, people want to go because they think there's going to get a huge announcement. We got the logo reveal and the official announcement for Night Shift.
Yeah.
And then they handed out the bronze, silver, and gold trap awards for all the fundraising that some of the groups have done. So I thought it was great. And like, there's tons of people, there's tons of great cosplays, tons of great packs. There's three Ectos from '84. Then my group has the 2016 Ecto. People were just having a good time. People were honking horns, driving by, taking pictures. I put my pack down. There's like a family of 4 kids came by, and everyone like turned it on and shot their parents, and everyone got the videos. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
And it was packed, right?
Oh my! It was completely packed. And considering how hot it was, there was a lot of people out there.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Everything. Jason Reitman was there. Yep, they all introduced the that new logo for it. I didn't have the logo, but everything. But so I'm showing some pictures here. That's what the older Ghostbuster vehicle, the from the female version, that one. And here's one with you and the Ecto one.
I'm pretty sure Ecto and Jay was there. I just didn't know which car was his.
Oh, okay. I believe this is your nephew. This is your nephew.
And that's the guy on the right with the black suit. His name is Matt Baker. He started a group called the Green Stream Ghostbusters, which is one of those like speak up, be kind, one of those like all-inclusive groups, which is great because listen, apparently there's plenty of people that have jumped in on that group that have been like, the group I was a part of before was just not that welcoming, which is in this hobby in general, it's kind of a shame that there's plenty of people that still like that.
Yeah, well, it's great. That was a great turnout and everyone came out there. It was pretty cool. So I'm glad you had a good time there. I really wanted to go, but if I just got a last minute notice because I was going to go, but maybe next year, definitely I'm going to head down there. Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about one of the big things, Clint Eastwood. When we talk about movies, he's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. You got to put him in there. Mystic River. You got, American Sniper. He's a 4-time Oscar winner. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Unforgiven is one of my favorite movies all time with him. He's one of the greatest of all time. He actually officially retired at 96 years old. And I think he deserved it at 96. You can kind of retire and call it a day. It was reported by his son that he's retiring. Again, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. You got to put him on your list somewhere. Rob, what do you think about Clint Eastwood and the impact he's made in Hollywood?
Again, I mean, we try not to use these words a lot, but he is truly a legend and an icon in this industry. And he did it both as, an actor and as a director. So one of those complete artists that are kind of rare, and I don't think you're going to see too often nowadays. Mm-hmm. I remember Clint Eastwood from way back when I used to watch these westerns, with my dad, and The Good, Bad, and the Ugly was his favorite, and that was kind of like my introduction to Clint Eastwood. I'm like, this guy's just badass. And as you grow up, you start seeing movies like the Dirty Harry movies, seeing that this guy's just a tough guy, and then he starts venturing into these movies that are just like so impactful. You mentioned some of these movies, like Million Dollar Baby is another one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
One of the movies first movies I saw that he directed was Gran Torino, which I thought was a very underrated movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he did it well into his 90s. It's just incredible. So, I mean, he didn't take time off for this. So for him to, finally retire, you know what? It's well earned. And he's one of those guys that we're just gonna one of these like figures, these actors, these just all-around artists that we're just gonna remember forever.
Yep, 100%. Like I said, we can't have a movie talk show and not talk about one of the greatest filmmakers of all time retiring. Dave, what did you think about Clint Eastwood, his movies, and retiring?
Well, it's nice to finally say goodbye to a star who hasn't passed away.
Yeah.
Right. Amen.
I mean, that's the silver lining right here. But yeah, I mean, listen, when he was doing the westerns, I don't think anyone thought that he would end up being what he retired as. Tons of great movies under his belt. Even when he got into acting, when doing the Dirty Harry movies, like those movies, like they're fine, right? But like for what they are, and then what he ended up turning his career into that's quite a trajectory, right? But yeah, like I said, he's left his mark, and there's so many people who've either wanted to work with him or he's inspired. It's really awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I think so wish him well in retirement. Normally these guys, like after they retire, that's when it goes downhill. I would have kept working if I was him a little bit longer, make one more movie at least. Because it seems like when people retire, they seem to get, I don't know, complacent, and
that is true. It's something to be said to be kept being busy, especially where at that advanced age. But at this point, I think he's just physically I don't think he could do it anymore.
Yep, 100%. All right, guys. Our next topic we're talking about is John Carpenter, the famous movie Escape from New York. Great movie with Kurt Russell. They looks like now the one and only Zack Snyder is going to be doing a remake of this. He's going to be putting it out, and he's working on that. And I guess it's going to be a reboot of who the character is. But I actually have an idea. They should actually cast his son Wyatt Russell. Wouldn't that be interesting if they as the main character? That would be pretty interesting. Maybe the character Wyatt Russell. But Zack Snyder's going to do it. He's going to remake it. From John Carpenter's famous one. I'll start off, Rob. What do you think about this one?
It's another remake. It's another reboot. So different day, same thing. So, but I mean, look, it's I like Escape from New York, and I actually like that idea. I do like Wyatt Russell. I think he's actually rounding out to be a really good actor. So I hope he continues that trajectory that that's trailblazed by his dad. But all right, it's a reboot. Okay, fine. I could go with it. The thing that's kind of like polarizing for me is Zack Snyder. It's like you had me until you told me it was Zack Snyder doing this.
Zack Snyder.
I mean, I just don't know that I don't think Zack could like help himself anymore. There was a time where when he made these movies that I would say that style fits. I'm remembering like the remake with Dawn of the Dead. So when he did that, very underrated remake, and some of these earlier works of his, I think that version of Zack is like fitting for Escape from New York style. But based on what I've seen recently, what he's done, I don't know. He claims he wants to make it down and dirty. I don't know what that means. I just know that he's just he's Michael Bay light now, and it could work, I guess. With the concept with Escape from New York, it could. But I don't know. That movie is one of these like very, for me, a very not underrated, but it's like almost forgotten classic. I think it's a classic in itself. And so what are you gonna do? How are you gonna make this into your vision? And I'm gonna go by what he's done recently, and it's too stylistic. It's too like just jarring jump cuts here and there. I don't know if that's gonna work with like that story, because you got to slow down and actually tell this story. So I don't know if he's capable of pulling this off. I could be proven wrong. Like David usually says, anything could be good, but I don't know. Lately, Zach's kind of been letting me down lately with what he's been putting out.
Yeah. Dave, what about don't accept these don't get these Zack Snyder fans upset, but what do you think about the Snake Plix in returning?
Snyderverse is done and it sucks.
What do you think about Snake Plissken returning and Zach doing this?
Well, between the Thing and this, like, why is Carpenter all of a sudden being pillaged so hard?
I don't know.
Like, people trying to really ruin some classics here.
Mm-hmm.
And also Monarch beat you to the punch with casting Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But it does work. It totally works.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Like, I'm so tired of reboots and remakes. And yeah, like I thought Zack Snyder is not, in my opinion, he's not even Michael Bay light. He's Michael Bay adjacent. Now, it's not to like rag on these guys too hard, because like Zack Snyder's done some good movies. Like Michael Bay has got The Rock, right? Like they've done good movies that aren't as shticky as their shtick is. I just don't know what he's gonna do with this.
Yeah.
Like I remember what they did with Michael Bay did with Ninja Turtles. And granted, I think he was just a producer. He wasn't a director.
Yeah, that's right.
But
yeah, I don't know.
The 91 with the big puppets was better than that. So and the string that Zack Snyder has had recently is like not really that great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll wait and see what happens. I mean, it's still early, but Zack Snyder is going to be doing it apparently. And next subject I want to talk about is something to do with the Superman Man of Tomorrow. Lex Luthor's suit, the power suit that he's in, was revealed. We got full images of it. Dave, I don't know if you got a chance to see what the suit looks like, but it actually looked pretty good, pretty comic book accurate. Let me personally get Dave there. Dave, you look a little bit different. Okay. There you go, Dave. What did you think of the Lex Luthor suit?
I didn't see it, and please don't put it up on the screen. We got 2 weeks.
Gotta do it.
2 weeks to go.
Do it.
I have a picture of it too. It actually looks pretty cool. It actually looks pretty cool.
You're gonna show it. Tell me I'm gonna look away.
All right, look up real quick. Look up for a couple minutes. And that's everyone. There's the suit. That's what it looks like. It looks pretty cool. I think it looks really cool. Don't look yet, Dave. Don't look yet. But it looks really cool. I think it looks really comic book accurate. Rob, what did you think of the suit?
It's very comic book accurate. I personally think that I like it that it's practical.
It is.
For anyone that is worried about that approach, there's a show out right now. Well, it's not out now. It's been out, but it's called Fallout, and they have these armor knights. They're basically these mechanical like suits that these faction of warriors wear. And it works really well. It actually looks really good. That's what this kind of reminded me of. So add a big time studio budget to this, and whatever post effects you're gonna have based on working with just a practical suit, I think it's gonna work just fine. And plus with the scenes, it looks like it's gonna take damage because it's Luthor versus Superman. So I mean, it's not. I'm already sold. I'm already gonna watch this movie, so this is not gonna deter me. But if there anyone really that had a problem with this, seeing it, that is a practical suit, and think it's like something that you would see like in a Comic-Con with some just rando walking around. I mean, I get it, but it's gonna look better once they finish this on screen.
Yeah, I actually saw some scenes of actually Superman and Lex fighting and him in the suit. I don't know if you saw that. Looks really cool, man. I was like, wow, okay, this is gonna really work, and it makes it. I can't wait for Man of Tomorrow. So. We'll see. I mean, that was the first image of the suit. I'm sure more is going to pop up online, because already they leaked 2 trailers of Spider-Man. Another one. I don't know if you heard about that, Rob.
It's nuts. Yes, yeah. I saw that.
Crazy.
Just release it.
Just release it, right? Just release it, man. But yes, so we'll wait and see with the Man of Tomorrow what happens with the new Lex Luthor suit. I actually got to see a special screening. My friend got a Lionsgate invitation to see The Furious, and I got to see it. And it was an early morning. I had to be there early in the morning, and I was tired. But when I sat down and started watching this, man, that thing just woke me right up. I'm going to tell you guys right now, see this movie. It is absolutely the best movie of the year that I enjoyed so far. I mean, it's just nonstop fighting action that you will love. I'm telling you right now, you will love it. It is the Raid, John Wick, nonstop action all through it. a fight. I don't think you kill so many people this so many different ways. Obviously, you know the story. It's a guy who's a mute. His daughter gets kidnapped. He's looking for his daughter. And then the other guy, his wife gets kidnapped. He's looking for his wife. Them two team up, and then they just kick ass through the entire movie. And it's amazing. I mean, they don't make movies like this anymore. I loved it. Rumble in the Bronx, John Wick, crazy shit. So, guys, check it out, man. I'm telling you right now, check it out. So that's my review. I can't say too much, but great movie. Great movie. Actually, one of the best of the year. Check it out when you get a chance. All right, guys. Finally, our main topic, and it's going to be He-Man, Masters of the Universe. And I got a couple things to talk about. We're going to talk about our reviews, the box office. And I was talking, Dave, I have a little inside scoop that I just found out about a half hour ago before we came on that I'll break it down to you. He-Man. So I saw He-Man, and I got to say, I enjoyed it. It brought me back to childhood. I thought Skeletor, Jared Leto knocked it out of the park. I thought he was great. Man at Arms was great. I thought Man at Arms was great. I thought I thought the whole thing was good. I thought even the guy who played He-Man, I thought he did a good job. A little bit cheesy and a little bit too many jokes, I thought at times. I thought a little bit too many jokes. They could have cut back on that. But overall, I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. Now, I was going to say, and I told Dave this earlier, interesting fact, only 11% of the tickets were for teenagers that were sold, which is kind of interesting. A lot of people our age obviously saw the movie, I believe. So that was my review. I enjoyed it. I recommend people to go see it. I thought it was good. Dave, what did you think of the show, of the movie?
Yeah, I had an interesting take. I don't know if the movie's any good, but I liked it.
Okay. You like
it? There was it was a little too shticky in parts. There was like a lot more comedy than I thought there was going to be.
Yes.
A couple of like gags. I think at one point towards the end, Skeletor's like, "Oh, balls." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
I mean, I get that he's been turned into a meme at this point, but like in the cartoon, that he wasn't that. So,
yeah,
it looks great. I thought the performances were good. Yeah, I wish it was doing a little bit better, and I wish we had gotten to see more of the castle. I wish we got to see more of Eternia before it was trashed. I don't like that we got Battle Cat in the last scene only.
Yep.
I feel like there were a lot of iconic He-Man fights that could have happened that didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Man at Arms trapjaw fight was great. I thought they could have showed Teela a little bit more. That could have went to her a little bit more.
We got minded that.
What?
I would have minded that.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was good. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about the box office, but Rob, you got to see it. You took your daughter. She's actually there talking about it too.
Yeah, she's going to be in this conversation, so I'm going to do what I can.
Okay.
Let me talk. So, overall, I definitely got the 80s vibe. I got the feel, that very familiar feel of the show, and for that I like. The visuals were pretty awesome, and that all the kudos were there. I mean, it's clear that Travis Knight, with his direction and the visuals that he promoted and pushed for this, it really is very honest to the source material. It had a lot of it. It just had, for me, it's funny. I liked it, but it had potential to be much, much more. Yeah, and I was trying to like wrestle with my thoughts of like, what was it that was really like pulling me back, from fully like jumping in, like just saying that this is beyond awesome, because it felt like it was going to be, and it had to do with Adam, not the actor, the actual character that was written for this movie, because the way they portrayed him, it reminded me, just really quick, like one of my first like screenplays. I try to write a story about a troubled person, but try to be relatable, and it turned out to be like this person. Whenever someone read it, they're like, "This guy's a jerk. I don't like him. I just can't get into him." Yeah, he's some things that's relatable to him that I could see, but overall, the guy is just not likable. Unfortunately, I got some of that vibe with looking at Adam, because Adam, it's like, it's not just that they made him like to be a loser. They made him out to be just somebody that's just like, man, who raised this kid? It's like, this kid is like, he barely could like, fend for himself. Yes, he was tossed, from another world to Earth, but he grew up to be a person that's like, just very unsure of himself, very just like, I know they try to tie it in with like how he was brought up to be like a runt, but it just seemed like it was too much. Like, there's a reason why the sorceress, since we're talking about the story, the sorceress chooses this guy to be the guardian of Grayskull. Why? Like, what he never earned the mantle of He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He just knew the words, and he remembered a little bit about what was taught to him when he was little. But as a grown up, whenever he's not He-Man, and even sometimes when he is He-Man, it's like that's not the Adam I remember. That's not the He-Man I remember. Because
Mm-hmm.
when I remember in the show was that this guy, even when he was Adam, he wasn't like, helpless. He wasn't like, like he couldn't fend for himself or think for himself or really like be secure or confident about himself. He just didn't have the all power of Grayskull when he was Adam. And in this movie, it's like they chopped them down way too much for us to like kind of like try and get on board and then find his journey to becoming He-Man. And it's almost like, even at the end when he's like fully in like He-Man mode in Eternia, there's a scene where it's just like, oh, there's trouble. Let me go away from the crowd so I could take care of something, and then turn to He-Man and then run off. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody's looking at him like, dude, we know you're He-Man. It's
Mm-hmm.
like that stuff there was like annoying. And that wasn't the
Yeah.
case in the show
Yeah.
at all.
100%.
So uh, it just sucked because it dumbed down a little bit of like what the lore should have been with Eternia. Like the names, they explained it that they named everybody has a name because that's what he remembers them
Correct.
as, not their real names. Like
Mm-hmm.
Ram Man is just something that he looked like a ram. Fisto, which that joke lasted way too long. you
100%.
know,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff there. So it's just like, and then calling himself He-Man. No, that's the names in Eternia. That's who these people are. So it was like there's a hesitancy of like embracing the source material there that was just like for me really disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it took away from the overall experience. The
Mm-hmm.
best thing in this whole movie is Skeletor. All the reviews say the same thing, and I agree 100%. Jared Leto killed it as Skeletor,
Yeah.
and he's almost the price of it. He's worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like I liked it, but I felt walked away a little disappointed because they had something there, and it just seems like they were just too afraid to go full He-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%. I mean, and Jared Leto doesn't have the best track record between Morbius, Haunted Mansion, Tron, and now He-Man.
Pedophile, sex criminal.
Yeah, his track record is not
Yeah,
great.
that role too.
That too. Let's talk box office. The budget for He-Man was about 170 to 200 million dollars. You put on top of that, the marketing was another probably 100 million. It needed to make 400 million to sort of break even, make a little money. Right now, the totals as of today, 29 million domestic, 25 international, only 54 million dollars, and it's going to be the biggest flop of the year. It's heartbreaking to think that because it has potential, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty decent, but that is the facts. Now, I had a little bit. I talked to Dave prior to you jumping on Rob. A little inside scoop I had. One of my YouTube friends who was on a big YouTube podcast, and Dave knows who he is. He told me something interesting. He was talking to someone at Warner Brothers, and the guy at Warner Brothers told him they're very concerned about the He-Man make the money that's made at the box office. Now, why would a producer for Warner Brothers be concerned? Because Amazon and Mattel Films made this.
Yep.
It is because the Thundercats film they just greenlit. They are looking at this, and I would not be surprised if they put the brakes on the Thundercats film. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be an issue because they are looking at this and they're like, "Oh Jesus, it's sort of in the same genre." So they're saying, "Oh, we don't know now," and that's going to be an issue because Adam Wingard, who did Godzilla Kong, is already on board for Thundercats movie.
Yeah.
There's going to be a problem. Mark my words. I don't know what you guys think.
I just want to jump in because for some reason I'm like, hey, if our followers or your friend of a friend catches this particular episode,
Mhm.
hey, this is what I was talking about, and the reason why Thundercats it was my dream because the same principles I feel for what Thundercats should be, this is what I thought He-Man should have been. it's about embracing that source material unapologetically. You know, don't give us these like, you know, these like little like cutesy little entrances, you know, into the material so that, you know, you could like, you know, walk people in by the hand. So, you know, no, judge the audience will judge for itself. You could have told that whole story in Eternia, and you'd have been just fine if you would just really stuck to that and have like if you want to do the whole prodigal son return storyline, then have Adam somewhere else in Eternia, lost, hiding, something to that effect. So when he comes back to face Skeletor, you know, he would have had a chance to like not just grow up, but grow up in his world and fully embracing what he has to do to become He-Man. That should have been this movie. Before when the trailer came out originally with this movie, what my biggest concern was He-Man in New York. They gave us He-Man in whatever it looked like Seattle. I don't know, but that was my biggest concern because we don't need it. As it was, I mean, yeah, we didn't spend that much time on Earth, but we spent enough time where it's just like it was irrelevant. You know, you just see this guy's roommate who shows up like twice, and I'm like, this guy's not even funny, and you know, and stuff like that is what you cannot do to these properties. The reason why a lot of these like cartoons that we talked about, like Voltron, Thundercats, Silverhawks, they don't take place on Earth, and there's not, you know, this like human element that needs to be introduced to these worlds. They could absolutely stand on their own. And if what you're saying is true, two things. I hope they do pull the brakes on because maybe, hey, someone could actually reach out to me who knows about Thundercats, and I could write you a damn good Thundercat story for sure. That's number one. And number two, that's fantasy. Listen, take care of these stories. These stories are great as they are. Just expand on them a little bit. Throw your little like formula in making this movie into a true feature, and you'll be just fine. But they do not seem to get it. They're so afraid, and I really hope to God that's not what's happening with Voltron too. Because if you're gonna give me now, you know, everything happening on Earth, I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah, 100%. You know, we had 3 post-credit scenes, and obviously it's built up for a sequel, which I highly doubt it's going to happen right now because
No, that's so not
54
happening.
million, and then we got in 2 weeks with Supergirl, and it's He-Man will be lucky to make 100 million.
No,
Be lucky.
it's kind of dead in the water.
We did get to see Orko. You know, we did get She-Ra. You know, and Travis and I talked about he has plans for She-Ra, but that's going to be out the window right now with this.
Yeah, but in the end battle, you've got Ram Man and Mechanic, or Fisto, and Fisto's like, give him head. Why are we doing these jokes? Why are we doing these jokes?
These jokes were like, don't get it. Like, I don't know.
It's annoying because I'm like, that's a good joke, but just not in this movie.
Not in this movie, and not in that moment. He says like in the middle battle. I mean, dude, he's but fighting for our lives here. You're gonna give me a head joke?
Yeah. Exactly. You know, I just don't get it. Some of these jokes were just too much and too overkill, you know, but overall, I thought some of the fighting and Skeletor were great, and even He-Man was good, but it just could have been better. Could have been better, you know, and I could see how it's very divisive between some people really like it, some people hate it. I could see where it is because you can kind of figure out, fine line, pick it apart, you know.
Has anybody watched the old cartoon recently?
I was watching it today.
Does it hold up?
It doesn't hold up. It barely held up back then because there's only so many movements that the animation could do. You see He-Man do like the same move like at least like at least 5 times during the show. So, but the show itself is still like, you know, you could watch and you're like, yeah, you know, I do remember why I like this show.
Yeah, I watched it recently, and you kind of can see why they made people realize he's He-Man because in the cartoon, they'd be trapped in like a pit, and He-Man would be like, I'll be right back. And then by Power GraySkull and He-Man shows up, and you're like, what the fuck you doing here?
And that's one thing that towards the end, they even kept this part, which I thought was actually funny and probably well positioned there. That whole part where it's like Roboto comes back, you know, and he said, you know, Cracks is like, oh, this is so revealing. And this overextended laughter, we're like,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And Cringe is looking at the screen like, what's going on here?
Exactly.
That was from the show. So that I remember, and I was like, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. But some of it was, you know, He-Man, I thought Skeletor, like with the HR stuff, You know, it was kind of funny.
That was funny.
Right, with the HR stuff, Skeletor. And I think Skeletor was really good. Jared Leto stole the show, I believe it as Skeletor. I liked it. I like Skeletor.
Oh, how about the Dolph Lundgren cameo?
Yes. Dolph Lundgren was in there. Yeah, very cool. You know, I thought it was really cool, man. But unfortunately, it's not doing well at the box office, and it's going to be a bomb for the year. So that's pretty bad. And again, it might affect other movies from what I'm hearing. A lot of people are pumping those brakes.
Call me up. Call me up for Thundercats.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to, man. But, you know, it is what it is, and we're going to have to deal with it. Well, the next big movie coming out, I guess, is Supergirl first, and then we'll do into Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think the tickets go on sale next week.
Yes, sir.
I think they go on sale next week and everything. Maybe we've got a plan to go there. All right, guys. Let's get a couple questions in real quick. Let me just get this going here. A couple questions that came in. All right, here we go. And we got one actually question that came in from our favorite guy, Bruce. He has one for Dave. And he says, Bruce from Spook Central. He said, DC, I went to the Ghostbusters Day. It was fun, packed, and yes, it's true. I have no dick. All right. There you go.
Thank you.
Why didn't you come try to find me, bro? You know what I look like?
Ben T said, hello, Dave. I have to admit, Ghostbusters right now seems to be hotter than ever, and we're getting more GB material than ever before. It was dead for 25 years.
Yeah, listen, Jason was very appreciative talking to the crowd, saying like, this property has endured for 40 years, mostly because of the fans who are here right now. And I think there's plenty of fan bases that can be contributed to, but I think for the size of property that it is it doesn't have the weight of a Star Wars or even an Indiana Jones. But I think the fandom is very strong, and it's definitely helped propel the franchise forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see what Jason was like. Night Shift is going to be it's going to be funny. It's going to be scary. I don't think we've seen any like artwork or anything teased for it, so I'm really curious of what it's going to look like. Is it going to look like the old animated show? Is it going to look like Stranger Things Tales from '85? Like, what's it going to look like? I'm really interested. I kind of feel it would be like, because Gil Kenan did Monster House years ago.
Okay.
So I'm curious if it might look something like that.
Okay. Ghostbusters Day why did they pick that day? Is that the when the original came out?
Yeah, so it's June 8th is when the movie came out. So they just try to do it for the first weekend of June.
And how many years has this been doing this?
For a while. I think it's only been made like an official day since like 21.
Okay.
But I know people have been going and doing a thing there for a while, but I think Sony's only gotten involved since like Afterlife.
Yeah, okay. So because I could see this being bigger and bigger, just like Comic-Con every year, just kind of growing and more people and actors going to show up. I could definitely see that happening. 100%. Next question here is from Billy T from West New York, and he says, Rob, I'm a huge horror guy myself. Let me ask you, do you think horror movies are reliant on jump scares too much?
I would say about good 65 to 70% of them, yes. It's that actually is a percentage that has decreased in over the last year or so, in my opinion, because I think people that are making horror now finally get it. It's not the jump scares that scare you. It's the unknown. It's the leaving things to your imagination. You know, what's going on in the dark. You're not sure. Those kind of like type of concepts. The best example I could give you right now is like back rooms. It's basically it's all empty rooms, but no exit in sight, with like this like fluorescent kind of light sounding, and you're just in a forever trapped maze, and you start hearing things in the distance. Is somebody running after you? All this stuff there. See, that is scary concepts that when you think about it, you already like got nerves. You already got goosebumps. That's the source. That's the real grit about horror. That's not the only thing with horror, because there's different. It's all subjective. Some people enjoy more of the gore, more things with like slashers, all that stuff there. But it's a whole palette, and when you use the jump scares, it cheapens the experience, because honestly, if you're good at scaring people, you don't need to do that.
Yep, 100%. I always believe that, your imagination is the best scare, because if you can see the killer coming at you is one thing, but if you don't know what's behind that door, and that's the worst part of it.
That's the secret sauce right there.
Yep, 100%. And the last one here we got from Rebecca R. Sparta, New Jersey. She says, what movie theaters do you guys prefer, AMC, Regal, or iPic? Do you guys ever come to this area to watch any movies? I don't know if I've been to the Sparta area to watch
Are
movies.
you inviting us to come see something?
I don't know. Maybe she's inviting us.
It did look like an invitation to me.
Yeah, it does seem like. Have you ever come
Reach out,
Rebecca? I don't know, Rebecca. Well, maybe we'll come down and see Spider-Man with you if you want. We'll wear our leotards and jump
Yes. I'll go full Spidey. I don't care.
Well, that's it.
I think AMC is like the most prevalent theater.
Yeah.
Regal, Rob and I have the Regal up by us, but I've never. Wait, have I been? I've been once. I saw Joker there.
Yeah, Regal's cool. I like it. They usually have, in my opinion, the better sound effects. Sometimes they crank a little too loud, but I think overall their sound system really meshes well with their screens.
Yeah.
But AMC is right now is king. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end up in an AMC theater more times than a Regal.
I think there's an iPick in Fort Lee, and I think there's one in like Hoboken or Jersey City. Like they're not all over the place, so they're hard to.
And they're really expensive. The iPick. I went there. You can have a full meal and watch a movie, like you sit down, like candlelight dinner, cake. They do the whole meal. You can watch the movie. It's kind of crazy. The seats are big. You get blankets and pillows and shit. It's really.
I don't need all that.
CRX in Closter is pretty good. They've got like a full same thing. They've got like the full dinner service. They've got a bar, which I don't really think you need, but whatever.
Yeah, they have some now like 4D theaters. You see that they could like blow smoke at you, blow water and stuff. I don't know if
thank you.
No, I don't want to be watching the He-Man movie and have a Fisto joke and then I'll be like, whoa.
Yeah, little serious, and you're like, whoa.
But yeah.
Get all right again.
You boob. All right, He-Man. All right, guys. Another great week. We will see you guys next week, guys. Talk to you later, Mama Hun. You got it.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron.